Hey everyone, story time! If you like what you see and hear, make sure to like and subscribe so we can keep telling you awesome stories. Right now, I'm going to tell you the story about how a dog made me rich. You have probably seen me on the street corner, or at least someone who looks like me. I have clothes that look like they have seen better days, and I have a bit of dirt in my face. My hair is matted because I don't have a brush, and my backpack is held together with rope I found the day it broke. It doesn't really matter how I got here. I could give you some sub story about how my mother was mean to me, and I couldn't concentrate in school, and my boss was a jerk, but none of that really makes a difference. All you need to know is that my name is Darla, and I'm homeless. I live in a fairly warm city, so I don't live in fear of freezing to death at night. I don't go to the shelters because they aren't the safest places, and I have always been a bit of a loner. The truth is, I got along better with animals than I do with humans. Being homeless and not having to interact with many people if I didn't want to was actually kind of a blessing. I know it sounds bad, but with the world being as it is, I'm sure I'm not the first person who finds being ignored as one of the better moments in life. How do I make money, you wonder? Various ways. I have been lucky enough to keep a smartphone with a solar charger on me left over from my camping days. How it hasn't been stolen yet, I don't know, but it's my lifeline. I downloaded all the apps that give you points for everything from walking to taking pictures of job signs. I mystery shop, I trade in points for gift cards, and I use first time freebie promos anywhere I can. It's never enough to get me an apartment or even a car, but it's enough mostly to eat, to buy new socks, and to order a sweater or a bag of chips with gift cards to various online stores. I usually have them sent to the post office where it's free to pick up. Sure, the post office gives me odd looks when a bag of chips comes with a mailing label, but they hand it over to me and are polite enough to wait until I am almost gone to gossip about me. Being homeless obviously has its downsides. Sometimes there was no money on the apps, and so I had to beg. Most people spit on me or looked the other way, and I hate it. I noticed that the panhandlers who got the most were those who had animals with them. Most had dogs, some had cats, and one had a rat. At least I'm pretty sure that was his pet and not just a rat that showed up. People seemed to take pity on them, and the animals never went hungry. I loved animals, but it wasn't as if I could just walk into a shelter. However, one day out of nowhere, this beautiful white fluffy dog came sniffing around where I was sitting. "Hey dog," I said as I reached up to pet it. "Where did you come from?" I looked around to see if their owner was coming, but the street was pretty much empty. I rubbed the dog's head again and then smiled. "Sit," I said. "You're sort of taking up the whole sidewalk." The dog looked at me for a moment and then said, "Okay, so he was well trained. He must be someone's dog." "Hey, what else can you do?" I asked and held out my hand. "Paw?" He gave me his paw and I laughed. Oh, I looked up and saw a woman with a little boy standing there. "Can I pet your dog?" I glanced at the mother who nodded. "Sure, you can," I said, and the boy came forward. In hindsight, that was pretty irresponsible of me because I had no idea if this dog was aggressive or not. However, the dog simply lay down and then rolled over for a belly rub. I wondered if he ran away from his home because no one petted him. This dog was the opposite of me. I didn't mind if people gave him attention. I could just hide behind him. "Thank you," the mother said to me and then dropped a $20 bill into my hand and took the boy's hand again. I couldn't believe it. $20 was more than I had ever been given before. "Hey dog," I said to it and it looked at me. "Maybe you better stay with me for a while, at least until your owner comes." The dog barked and sat up as if it understood me. "What else can you do?" I asked. The next few days become a blur of me panhandling and seeing what else the dog was capable of. I named him Simba because of his mane, and people seemed to think it was adorable. Whenever I said something that Simba didn't seem to understand, I showed him how to do it. By the next week, we were doing jumps and rollovers and yoga stretches together. It only took me 2 tries before Simba learned a command, and by week 2, we were basically a busker act. Don't get me wrong, the money from being a busker was nice. I was just starting to think about how it might be enough for a crappy apartment when someone came along that changed my life forever. "Hey!" said a man after watching Simba and I do tricks for a while. "Is that your dog?" "I guess so," I said, seeing as his owner had never come along. He handed me his card. "My name is Rick Dawn. I'm with Studio Pictures over on 80th Street. We're casting for a stunt dog right now." I looked at his card in shock. "Like for the movies?" "Well, it's for commercial currently. But the office is always trying to get reliable animals on file. Most owners say their animals can do things and make fake videos, but I can see your dog in the real deal. He has a great look too. What's his name?" "Simba," I replied, and Simba barked a greeting. Rick smiled. "Give me a call if you're interested. I think we could do some good things for you and your dog." "Wait," I said as he started to walk away. "Does it pay?" "Oh, yeah." He gave me a look like I was crazy. "Of course it does." "How much?" "If you book the commercial, it will be a 3-day shoot, so about, I don't know, $2,000. I almost died on the spot. "Are you serious?" "Yeah." "Give me a call." I called him the very next day. The only reason I didn't call him right there and then was that I didn't want to look like an overeager freak. In addition, I was wary of scams. I mean, who the heck just walked off the street and decided to hire a woman and her dog who were nowhere near what they should be in terms of looks or training? Simba was good, but I didn't think he was millions of dollars good, and I looked like, a homeless bum. I was so confused. So confused, and I'm sure the man thought I was a bubbling idiot. Somehow, though, it turned out to not be a scam. I researched him and I researched how much a commercial would pay, and most of the internet said I would be crazy to not go. The address checked out, and when I walked in, it seemed everyone working in the building had heard about Simba. Simba didn't let me down either. It seemed every trick that we were working on was executed perfectly. When we were done shooting, they handed me a check like it was petty cash. It wasn't the last gig we did either. It went from a commercial to a TV show to movies, personal appearances, circus acts, the whole deal. Pretty soon, Simba had his own YouTube channel and merchandise before the year was out. Whenever he walked into a room, no one even noticed me. I didn't mind that because his paychecks bought me a condo, a flashy car, and allowed me to buy him the best dog food money could buy. I went from looking at negative balances in my bank account to actively running out of things I wanted to order online. One day, I passed the street corner where I used to sit and saw a young girl who could have been me curled up against the wall with a puppy. "Hey," I said as I approached. She looked at me weirdly, probably thinking I was going to make fun of her. I was dripping with wells, and I knew that when I had sat there, I looked away from people like me. "Cute dog, does he do any tricks?" He can shake hands," she said timidly and then put out her hand. The puppy put his paw in hers and she tickled his hand. "Cute," I said and dropped some money in her little cup. "Take care of yourself. You never know, he could be a star one day." "Miss, this isn't a $1 bill," she called after me as I walked away. I smiled and looked down at Simba, who was prancing proudly beside me. "Ready for lunch?" I asked him and he barked his approval. As we walked, I passed a magazine stand with our faces on the front covers. "I was homeless until a dog made me rich," said the headline. I get that was true, and it all started because I was being ignored. Isn't that weird? Has anyone ever upstaged you and it turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to you? Tell me in the comments below.